Hey, what's going on? You know who it is. You know what it is. You know, if you guys wonder why I say some of the things I say, it's because people give me reason to say the things that I say. Where you have people that try to disguise, you know what I'm saying, racism and bigotry as criticism. Because at the end of the day, you only hear a certain marginal group make these type of comments. And it usually be a certain group of people, and a lot of times they don't look like me. Now, case in point, yesterday, the main event on the UFC card on Fight Island, wherever the hell they is, they somewhere near Dubai, if I'm not mistaken. But there was the main event with Jorge Masvidal and, you know, Usman. And basically he dominated Jorge Masvidal. He won the fight pretty much with ease. So instead of giving this man his just due, his props, now it did turn to, oh, he's a boring fighter. The fight was boring. You know, he needs to do more. We don't like his style of fighting. AKA the black fighter, you know, was a little too dominant for my blood, and we don't like that. We don't want a black dude being the face of the UFC. Now keep in mind, a long time ago, a while ago, Anderson Silva had a nice run, and it was looking like Anderson Silva really isn't black American. You know, he's Brazilian. I think he's Brazilian, but at the end of the day, he's black. You know, it's black, whether he likes it or not. I'm not finna do the whole black Hispanic thing, you know, but he had a nice run until he, you know, started losing, and people was mentioning his name too much, and it looked like Anderson Silva could possibly be the face of the UFCs, but he had some losses, some setbacks, and then that was pretty much the end of him. Then here comes John Jones. John Jones is dominating, whooping everybody's ass. And then John Jones had some outside distractions outside of boxing. It was looking like he was on his way to becoming the face of the UFC. And then people was complaining about him. People wanted stuff to happen with him, and they got their wish. They do not want UFC to become boxing, where most of the time, if you talk about boxing, who's some of the best fighters on the planet, you're going to think of African Americans or black people, whatever you want to call them, as well as the Hispanics. Don't get me wrong, they have some great Hispanic fighters out there. They even have a couple of solid Filipino fighters come on the come up. But a lot of times when you think of the history of boxing, no matter how much a historian you are, you think of over the last 100 years, you think of Jack Johnson, then Joe Louis, then Muhammad Ali, then Sugar Ray Leonard, Marvin Hagler, Larry Holmes, Lennox Lewis, Floyd Mayweather, Roy Jones Jr., you know, Andre Ward. So a lot of those names come up when you think of black fighters in the history, because most of them have been dominant fighters. Some have went on to lose no fights or less than 3 fights in their career. So you just think, okay, you know, you look at boxing. So now they don't want that to transition over to UFC. Just like Floyd once said a long time ago, he said he considered UFC like a white guy sport. They do not want, a lot of those people do not want a black man to be the face of UFC. Now, I know somebody gonna come on here with their typical, well, I disagree with you, and can we not make this about race, and why do we got to make this a racial thing? Because you guys always like to sneak this black fighters, because every time a black fighter is dominant, he's boring. And I'm gonna talk about that in the next video, getting back to boxing, because I want to prove my point even further in boxing. But this is what's going on in UFC. They don't want guys like John Jones or Usman to be the face of the UFC. Like I said, now all of a sudden it's a boring fight. I done seen some UFC fights that was exactly like that fight between two white guys, and people said it was a great fight. So now all of a sudden, Usman is not a great fighter. He's a boring fighter. You got to understand, that's talking in code. And the problem is people get mad because guys like me will decode some of the phrases and sentences that people use when they're referring to a certain type of fighter. And they're gonna be like, damn, here we go again. Like I said before, this is why a lot of people don't want to watch my channel, because I tell the truth. And I'm going to continue to tell the damn truth. Why should I water down and watch what I say? Because I don't want to make people feel uncomfortable. But like I said before, it's okay for people to say what they want to say. And like I said on my channel, one thing you're not going to do is you're not going to go to the extreme to disrespect black people and black fighters on my channel. At the end of the day, of course, we're going to criticize people. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to let you, just demean them and demean me and demean my subs that happen to look like me. But this, I mean, at the end of the day, look who runs UFC, Dana White. UFC has some serious racial issues. Now, like I said before, everybody is fixated on, certain people when they get into, certain issues outside of boxing. They make them out to be the worst person ever. And it's like, why do... And I heard this on the Shy too. And the lady said something that was real interesting. And I thought that was an excellent quote. Why is it when we make mistakes, we got to be perfect? We got to have a perfect history. Why is it there is no sympathy for us? You had some people who basically tried to justify what happened with George Floyd. Oh, George Floyd had a criminal record. Okay, so what about Tamir Rice? What about Trayvon Martin? Trayvon Martin really didn't have no criminal record. So because a picture showed up with him with a joint in his mouth, that made him deserving of what George, you know what I'm saying? That made it deserving of what George Zimmerman did to him, right? So he deserved for that to happen. So every black person got to be perfect to get sympathy. So Ahmaud Arbery, who had a couple of run-ins with law enforcement, who basically looked like he was being racially profiled and harassed. Oh, see? Yeah, I told you I'm gonna keep putting y'all on the spot. Cause when a white guy do something, oh, he had a troubled childhood. Is one of his parents left and he lost his sister and all this type of stuff. Then, you know what I'm saying, the sympathy comes. Well, he was forced to leave a life of crime because of certain things that happened to him. But with black people, we the worst people on the face of the earth. It don't matter what we did or what we didn't do. It always somehow you always have somebody try to make it our fault, that we deserve whatever happens to us. For real. I want somebody to tell me that I'm lying. Please tell me that I'm lying, because I'm not. This is just history. This is just fact. I think that was a great line, because that's when the girl on the shot because she missing. And, you know, on her Instagram, she had some pictures, some sexy pictures. And like the lady said, why our children have to be perfect to get sympathy or for people to care about them? And that just goes to show you the racism that you really have. That just goes to show you how racist you are. And then you try to sit up there and say, oh, I'm not a racist. Yes, you are. A lot of this shit that's going on with Usman being that dominant because he dominated a non-black fighter is a lot of it's just racist. It's racism. And they're talking in code again. That's the new word. That black fighter was too dominant for my taste over a non-black fighter. We don't want him to become the face of the UFC. That was scary seeing him that dominant. And I don't like it. But anyway, thanks for watching this video. This your boy Town Biz. I'm out.